So before we even get into Fallon's video, I want to kind of go back to last week's tips from the tops videos. And one of them in particular, Jessica Heffley's, what would I be or where would I be without the thought of blank? And I think this is a really great way to start our week. Monday always feels like a fresh start. So what if we went ahead and did the embarrassing, which I don't think it's embarrassing. I think it's amazing and courageous. I think if we can get it out there, then we start having people hold us accountable. We start having more awareness. So does anybody want to tell me what they said to Jessica Heffley's video? I can share my screen and show you exactly the wording. Okay, so here it is. Let me go to Jessica Heffley's and show you this just to make sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It says right here, she said, who would I be without the thought of blank? And answer that question. All right. Who's got on their big girl panties and wants to share? I'm not giving up. There's one person I know that wants to share that because that is a huge question that I think we could ask ourselves every single day.
I'll share.
All right. I knew it. Okay, go ahead.
You knew I would share?
No, I knew somebody would. I knew somebody
would. Where would I be? Who would I be without the thought of there is a purpose and a reason for today?
You took it the positive route. Like, what if I stopped thinking this good, strong belief?
Mm-hmm. Are you asking me a question?
Is that what you did? You took it. That just made me want your brain so badly, Leslie.
Here.
Seriously. Did anybody else take that the positive route? Did anyone else do that? Or did everyone else say like some horrible thing that they think that's like killing their soul? Leslie. Okay, tell me how you answered that.
I mean, it's just, I don't know how I did. It's just, that's where my brain went. I mean,
I love it. But what did you answer that? How did you answer? Like, who would you be if you didn't keep that way of thinking?
I would be discouraged. I would be, I mean, if I had never had that thought, I would be very lost just in life. My life would have gone down a totally different trajectory.
Gosh, that's good. I mean, I heard that and I thought some like terrible arrow of accusation. I was thinking about bad thoughts. So I love that your brain went there. That's really good. You kind of just turned that on its head for me, actually. Did anybody else want to share that about how they filled that blank in? Well, if you haven't watched that video, you definitely need to. It's really, really good and short. So today we're just going to watch Fallon's video and then we're going to get into some customer care. So let me go ahead and press play.
My name is Fallon Rabe, and I have been a Diamond Ambassador for almost 7 years now. And I am also due with baby number 7 today. Today's my due date. So if I sound a little out of breath, that would be why. And I am super honored to be a part of this series. This is so much good information for you guys. It is going to help you take your business to the next level. So definitely take it seriously. We have put a lot of great stuff together for you guys. And I want to talk to you today about a topic that's really important to me, and that is leadership. I have built a really solid, really stable team full of residual income that is not shaky. It's solid. And that's what you guys want. And I fully understand that the reason it is so solid, and when you look at other diamonds and their businesses, and I love this new STAR program from Plexus, that really shows you the depth of someone's business and how stable it is. So you really want to have leaders. That is the most important thing that you can look for in your business. You get people loving the products, you get people sharing, you get them working, and you help them become leaders. And for some reason, this topic can be really intimidating for some people. And it doesn't have to be. Leadership is basically just getting someone to follow you. To get someone to follow you, you have to have belief in where you are going, and you have to have direction. You have to have charisma. You have to be excited. And that, again, that stems back to belief. So that's pretty much what it takes to get someone to follow you, is to have that passion and to know where you are headed, and to not be afraid to ask people to follow you and to do this with you. And then to not be afraid to coach them, to tell them, you know, what they need to be doing. Don't expect them to come to you. A leader will go to their people, will guide them, will direct them, and will coach them. So that is what leadership is. And there's so many books that have been written on that topic. John Maxwell is my absolute favorite. If you haven't read 21 Laws of Leadership, you need to read that book and make sure you apply every single one of those character traits of a good leader. So to be a good leader and to have a wide team, you need workers. Your first step would be to find 3 solid leaders. 6 is great, and even more than that is even better. So the more you have, the more stable your business is going to be, because leaders are going to go in and out of momentum. So if you have multiple legs, you're going to stay in momentum and stay on the top of all of that. So one strong leg is great. I know a lot of people have one strong leg, and that's a great paycheck, but that is not stability in any way, shape, or form. That is a very shaky business. And a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times people just get lucky. So they'll have one strong leg and they just got lucky, and that just happened. And that isn't a sign that you should get into management mode and help that team and manage them. That is a sign that you need to create other leaders and enjoy that strong leg that you have, but don't stop there. Don't think, oh, I've arrived, I'm a jewel, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. You need to make sure that you continue to develop your business. A leader is someone, so what is the definition of a leader? Many definitions, but in Plexus, a leader is someone who is doing all of the things right, and they get someone to follow them. You don't get someone to follow you just by doing the things and then expecting them to follow. You get leaders on your team by asking them to follow, showing them what it is that you are doing, telling them, and being confident in that, not being afraid because of your age or your lack of success or whatever it is that we tell ourselves that hold us back from being that bold and confident leader that we need to be. So you probably heard the phrase, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And that is so true. Your team isn't even going to do half of what you do. So if you're working 30 minutes a day, expecting to be diamond tomorrow and wondering why you're gold 3 years later, that's probably why, because you're not doing enough work. You're not putting in enough hours. You're not doing the IPA consistently. You're not reading and doing the personal growth and doing those things that you need to do. You are holding your team back. It's, again, John Maxwell, the law of the lid. Your team is not going to grow more than you are growing, whether it's in your personal growth or your IPA, like I said. So making sure that you're actually doing enough work and then going above and beyond. You have to be your own rock star. That means whatever you would want your team to do or whatever you expect them to do, you have to be doing that yourself. You can't just boss your team around, tell them tell them what you expect them to do and hope that they do those things, but you're not doing it. And that doesn't just apply to the outward things of posting on Facebook or showing up for team calls or showing up for book club. It's actually going above and beyond. It's doing the coaching calls. It's giving good customer service to our customers and our people who are on the products. It's having the most ideas for your team. Like, hey, we should do this event. Hey, we should get together. Hey, we should do this for the team page. It's making the videos. It's creating the YouTube channel at Gold or Ruby or wherever you are at. It's not relying on your diamond upline to do it for you or your jewel upline. It's you taking ownership for your business That is what a leader does. And that is what the speed of the leader is. The speed of the pack means you set the pace for your business. So if your business isn't growing as fast as you want it to, that's because you are not being a leader, and no one wants to follow someone who's not going anywhere. So you really need to have those wins, have those successes in order for your team to actually do those things too. So another thing a leader isn't afraid to do is say the hard things to their team. So your job is not to be a cheerleader. Oh, yay, you got to join. Like, we're not sitting over here clapping. We are coaching. Okay, you got to join. Did you set them up in a three-way chat? Did you get them on a three-way call with me? Did you add them to the team page? Giving someone a checklist of things to do. And then if they're not doing one of those things that are important, finding out why. Okay, what's holding you back from setting up three-way calls? Why are you not plugging them into IPA and all of these things? So being a strong leader is making sure your people are doing the right things and not being afraid to say that to them. You can say these things with wisdom and say these things with love, but you have to give your team direction. So coaching calls. That is a big thing that we do on my team. We get on the phone a lot and really help people dig deep into their problems. So instead of being like, okay, this person can't get people to silver, why? Why is one of the most important questions as a leader you can ask. And actually my team is going through Good Leaders Ask Great Questions by John Maxwell. So many good questions in there to help you develop your leadership and to help you with your coaching, which is just getting on the phone with people and asking them questions and helping them to be successful in their business. You're not responsible for their success or lack of success. That's on them, but you are responsible to give them direction and to help them, to give them the guidance that they need. So another thing that a leader is someone who is selfless. You are the one who's showing up the longest, the hardest, you're up the latest, you're doing the most work for the events, you're putting in more than anyone else on your team as far as IPA, as far as the books that you're reading. Again, your team will not even do half of what you're doing unless you get lucky, but who wants luck? I want a stable business. I don't want a lucky business. So for homework, ask yourself, who is someone that I want to follow and why? What kind of character traits do they have? And this is something that I asked myself at the beginning of my business. I had to look at different leaders and be like, okay, this is why she's successful. And I would analyze what they were doing. Why is she successful? What is she doing? How does she treat her people? What kind of things does she do with her team? Those kind of things. So look at people and be like, that's someone that I would like to follow. And then ask yourself why. And then pick up any and all John Maxwell books you can. I know there's a lot of other books on leadership, but he is like the top dog and has so many books. So if it's by John Maxwell, you know it has the potential to change your life if you let it. Don't just think, oh, I'm not a leader. Everybody can be a leader. Like I said, it's just getting people to follow you. It's not the person at the front of the room holding the microphone. That is not what a leader is. A leader is not the person in the spotlight at all. That is not what leadership means. Sometimes you will see leaders doing that though, because they want to impact as many lives as possible and they want to give of themselves in that way, but that is not the requirement. You just have to be someone that people want to follow, and that comes from character, it comes from integrity, it comes from belief, passion, confidence in where you're going, and just a hard work ethic. Another plug for John Maxwell book, Success is a Choice, one of the best books I have read this year. So I highly recommend that one too.
I just love her. I really do just love her. Let me press pause. I forgot to do that. So one of the reasons why I love her so much is because her results speak for themselves. So when she's talking about that, I know that some of the strongest people in Plexus are on her team. And one of my favorite people, and I can't wait for you to see her video on Wednesday together, all of us together, is Brittany Howard. I don't know anyone else that has invested so much personally and gained so much confidence. She has a strength about her that I am drawn to. So when Fallon talks, I say, okay, I'm going to listen because I see the team that she's built. So the first thing I'm going to ask you guys, she said it would be great if you had a minimum of 3 solid leaders. So no matter where you are in your business, it doesn't, maybe let's say you're senior gold and you have 3 people, one a gold, a senior silver, and someone that's in between the 2. Then you have 3 people that are wanting to move this business forward with you. So imagine if you just had 1. And that's still great. You should be so excited about it. But there is this like fragility to that, where if that one person doesn't feel like it, or they get sick, or they start thinking the grass is greener, your business isn't on solid ground. You want to make sure that, let's imagine you have 3 legs and one's really into it and they're feeling it, and the other one's okay, and the last one's like, this is a bad time for me. You're going to see these ebbs and flows of each of those legs going up and down, but you've now built the solid foundation of 3 different people that have the buy-in, and your business begins to be very residual. Okay, she's sharing about Fallon being her upline's upline. Yeah. And so I want you guys on Wednesday, when we watch Brittany's video, you're going to be so stinking excited because it is so good. I would say that it was probably one of the best things I've ever watched. So we'll watch that together. Who here has a minimum? Go ahead and put in the chat of 3 solid leaders. Put in the chat if you have a minimum. Just say me. Okay. That's exciting, because here's what I was going to say. I was going to imagine a lot of you would say, well, you wouldn't be answering, but you'd be thinking, not me. Well, now you have a goal. You have something that you know that you need to be working on. It is very enticing to go to that leg that's actually working, where the action is, and you should, but you sometimes pour so much into it and it has a scarcity mindset behind it, because you're like, well, this is all I got and I got to make sure it doesn't go away. Instead of thinking it in a different way, imagine yourself changing the way you looked at it, just like Leslie looked at that question that I thought was supposed to make you identify something negative, and she found something positive that she does. And what if she didn't do it? Like, my mind is still like over that. So what if you looked at it a different way and said, I'm so grateful I have this leg that's working, and of course I'm going to give to it, but now it's time for me to shift my focus. It's time for me to go build another leg just like that. I'm reading, I had 10. Let's say me. I'm really excited to see so many people saying that they have at least 3. If you don't, now you have a goal. All right. The second thing that I'm going to ask you about is, I wrote these things down on my piece of paper. What would you say, put in the chat, was the amount of time you spend per week, 7 days, on your Plexus business? And there's no judgment here. Just what would you say is the amount of time that you spend per week on your Plexus business? And I would include in that any type of personal growth plan, which is listening to Audible, reading a book. I would include plugging into training. I would include reaching out with your customers, your downline. I would include sending messages to create relationship. I would include social media posting. This is so good. All right. So I'm looking at Carol Murray's. She said 35 hours a week. Well, if you were an Emerald ambassador, wouldn't you imagine that you'd probably be working about that much, or even more? But doesn't 35 hours make sense to you? So I would just do a little math. Let's just say we're going to take the average monthly income for an Emerald, which I haven't looked at the income disclosure. So I'm literally just guessing. I'm going to just say 8,000. Okay. $8,000 a month. See, this is where I need a calculator. And I want you to do this for yourself as well. So let's just say it's $8,000 a month. And if I work 35 hours a week, I'm multiplying that out by the month. 8,000 divided by 140 hours. You're making about $57 an hour. So my question to you is, go and look at how many hours you're working in a month based on how much you're making. And Carol could be making more or less than that. Go and look at what you're making per hour and make a decision. Is it Are you working too much for your pay? And if that's the case, then probably some of the things that you're doing are not income producing. If you're like, I'm working 40 hours and I am a gold, something you are doing is not income producing. That's really important for you guys to pay attention to what your hourly wages are. I also want you to think about this. There is a time when you get to a certain level in the company where you start to get massively overpaid for your time. And that is what you all want. That is the goal here. At least that's, I think, the goal. And so when you get to a certain level, that means that I've had times where I feel like I'm working way more than what I'm getting paid. That was through my experience going up, but I didn't care because I knew at the end, I saw what I was working for. So there might be times you're like, I'm working like 50 hours a week and I'm messaging people and it's not going as fast as I want it to. And I want you to know that will come back to you, because if you are doing actual IPA, it will come back to you. So I'm looking at the amount of time, maybe 8 hours on a good week, 7 to 8 hours, 3 to 5 hours a day. If whatever it is you answered, I'm looking through the chat. Make sure you know what you're quantifying as work hours. So go ahead and put down on a piece of paper everything that you're doing for work. If you're telling me that you're working a lot and you haven't ranked up and you don't feel like your pay is matching it, you're either in that time of building momentum and it's about to explode, or you're not actually doing IPA. Another thing I will say to you is, if you have really big dreams, but the time that you're putting into it is truly that nooks and crannies mentality, you need to be in agreement with yourself that you're always going to be making just enough to cover your products with a little bit of fun extra spending money. Like, you cannot expect a gold mine when you came out there with like a toothpick to dig in the ground with to look for a gold nugget. Like, if you're not going to put the time in, it's not going to happen. Like, that makes sense, right? Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you about, I wrote a couple of these things down. One strong leader, success is a choice, be the leader. How much time? Okay. So coming up, Bethany Spears is going to be doing a video about, do you have a personal growth plan? And don't let that overwhelm you, because I said to her, okay, well, what's your personal growth plan? And it got me like super nervous because I thought she was going to tell me like this PhD level thing. And she said, I read 10 pages every day, no matter what. And I listen to one podcast every day, no matter what. When I heard that, I was like, okay, I can do that. But then I get in my head and I go, well, which podcast should I listen to? What would be the best thing to do? Or my kids are always coming in and interrupting me. I don't think I have time to do this. So I'll make all these excuses. So in the chat or on mute, does anyone have a podcast or a book that they're like, this is a game changing, I have to listen to it, it's made all the difference? Tell me anybody, what your personal growth podcast or books are. Okay, Atomic Habits. Anyone else? Or even on mute? Or even a tip for how to get that fit into a crazy life? You can just unmute and talk if you want to. I'm writing some of the stuff down.
I unmuted myself. I'm actually reading 2 books right now. She is Free. They're both by a woman named Andy Andrews. She just spoke at my church at a women's conference 2 weeks ago. This woman's blowing my mind. And the other one is called Friendship, It's Complicated. It's just really based on, knowing where you're at as a woman and in your relationships, and just really going to God first when things happen. Don't really like freak out and, being less human, I guess. And when it comes to anything, and it's just really, really great. So I read, now that I'm back to work, I'll read at night. Or whenever I have a break at work, or on the weekends, I usually read first thing in the morning. And then podcasts, Kristen Boss, Christina Struck is my awesome upline. And she turned me on to Kristen Boss. And so when I'm walking or something, I will listen to her podcasts. She's awesome too. That's more of like a work-related social selling type of thing.
Yeah. And I remember when I first started listening to her, I felt like she was reading my diary because she hit the nail on the head in a lot of ways. Let me ask you something. Are you consistent with your products? Like, can you just basically say like, I'm pretty much 100% consistent?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Personally, taking my products?
Yeah.
I take my products on vacation, weekends. I take my products every single day. I never miss. Yeah.
Okay. I could tell because the way that you were saying, like when I'm working, I make sure I read it at night or I listen to it in the morning. Like you sounded like someone that was like, my life isn't going to live me. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to order it. I'm going to make a plan. I'm not going to make excuses. And I think, okay, just like you wouldn't miss taking your products, if you all could look at your personal growth plan as important as vitamin B or as important as alpha lipoic acid, if you do not do this, you cannot grow if you don't grow. Your team will not grow if you don't grow. And I can't say that enough. So that was really helpful, you sharing how you make it happen with no excuses, which I
have to say, I wish I was more consistent in the business though. So when you said how many hours, I'm making a good amount of money based on the hours that I'm putting in, but I wish that my life didn't get a hold of me. Like I have midday off from my job. So it's 9:30 to 1. I try to do my workout, get dinner, blah, blah, blah. And then, so I'm here, it's Monday. I'm in the power hour. That was one of my goals, to see your face Monday and Wednesdays. So I'm doing that. And now I have a calendar with my content. So I just really want to be more consistent about my IPA because I want to leave my job next year. I want to leave my job and do Plexus. So that's my goal. And so I have to be more consistent with my IPA.
Well, you just put it out there just in case you okay, so that's 65 people that all witnessed it. I'm being silly, but I will tell you guys, when you make a decision and then you start making a plan, what is stopping you? It could be your mindset. It could be fear. I had a really great phone call with this girl the other day, and she's got a team that's exploding. And so she's sitting on the cusp of getting to Emerald. And she was telling me all of these things that hold her back. And the big one is consistency. Well, if someone is struggling with consistently getting in the work, you have two options here. It's fear of failure or it's fear of success. So that could be something that's happening for you. But I know for her, I said, is that something that maybe you're struggling with? She just cracked in half, because that is such a big issue for so many people. Either you're afraid of actually stepping into it because now you actually are a leader for other people. You're in, like, people are going to watch and see, are you going to fall flat on your face? And that's hard because people do not want to cheer for you. Most people do not like you doing something that makes them feel like they're not doing enough. Like, oh, you think you're better than me? Like, that's what it brings up in what's in our DNA, guys. Like, we have that in our DNA. We have a hard time celebrating people. Or you can have fear of failure or success. And it kind of sounds like the same thing, but it's not. If you have success, then you've upped the bar. You've actually said, I'm able to do this, and it requires skills, or you might not feel like you're worthy, or you never could have imagined that this could have been for you. Or what if I get successful and people don't think I'm content? That's a big one. Like, we think we should live with contentment. So does that mean we shouldn't dream bigger? There's a lot of conflict in those two thoughts. So I'm looking through the rest of these books and podcasts. Okay, perfect. And then finally, this is the one that I thought was really, really helpful. It said, don't rely on your Jewel upline to do events or meetings. So let's say whoever your closest Jewel or Diamond is hasn't done a meeting in months. And I've gone through seasons where I haven't done anything. Or let's say that you really have this great idea. I'm going back to Leslie. She has done some of the greatest, different health challenges, all of these things that she just is like, I really want this done and I want to do it. And she just created the content and went with it. And that's exercising the muscle that is really important to use. So if you have something you're like, I wish that my team had fill in the blank, stop wishing. You can do it. Just do it. Get some sidelines with you. And if it ends up not working, that is the greatest way to learn. You go, ooh, that didn't really work. I feel like it would have been better if we would have done this. That is so important. Don't wait for somebody to do something. So the last thing I was going to say to you guys is about this. You need to go to your calendar. I don't know what you should write on it. I wish you could draw the fire emoji, but I don't know how to draw a fire emoji. So, and maybe if you just put it in your Google Calendar, July 5th through July 9th, just trust me. I don't know what you want to write on it. You could put save the date on all of those, or you could put like, I don't care what you put, write fire on each of the days. Just trust me. I don't want to get in trouble or fired. So therefore, I will say nothing more other than trust me when I say July 5th through July 9th is going to be pretty freaking fantastic. Okay, customer care. This is where I really need everybody's help. When we take care of our customers, and Joanna Slavin's going to have this video. I might have sent it to some of you guys. I kind of want to put it in the chat now and cheat. I think I might do that as I'm talking to you. Oh my gracious. I kind of want to cheat and watch it right now. She goes through step by step by step how to take care of your customers and at each of the points of their journey. And one of the things that's really important to remember is you see these people on the leaderboard, or you see somebody doing really fantastic in the business. And the question is, because remember Megan Goff talked about those 4 pillars of our business: recruiting, duplication, retention, and leadership. It's hard to be good at all of it, right? But the place you really want to be good at is keeping your people. Retention is huge. So what if somebody's amazing at recruiting? You're like, I could bring in 50 people with my eyes closed. But then the next month, one person's ordering. Well, there's like this piece that's a little bit weak that needs to be strengthened, and that's possible. So never, ever let that be like a death sentence to your business. But I put that in the chat, by the way, the video. She breaks it down step by step by step, how to take care of your customers so that they continue ordering, and not just continue ordering, but ordering more and more and more. I watched it and I thought, I love you. You're my new best friend, because she just earned the trip to Portugal, her and her husband, I think, and maybe her son. I don't know. And they're all like hitting diamond and like all these crazy things. And so the question is, yay, you're bringing people in, but are you keeping them? She is. Her retention is fantastic. So I would definitely watch that. But when you guys go to take care of your customers, here's my question for you. Tell me what you say. What do you do? Is there anything that's been working for you? Is there any video you send or any tip that you've given them? I would love everyone to give me everything so I can steal it. Go.
Do you want us to talk, or do you want us just to put it in the chat?
Well, I like talking, but if you want to put it in the chat, you can too.
Well, I can talk. I mean,
Tell me, Leslie.
I use Emily Gibson's old checkpoint part. And then I added some of my own things. Like if somebody wants weight loss, I created my own PDF on what that should look like for them with a modified intermittent fasting, because a lot of people just don't know anything about that. So
do you send it to them, like the link to a PDF, or do you how do you do that?
I send it. Well, when I sign somebody up the next day or two, I send them an email. And if I know that's what they want, then I will automatically send that. And in the virtual office, there's also this chef prepared diet meals and things like that. I send that as well. So, but I'm talking to them like every 3 days, like the first 2 weeks. Sometimes it's just chit chat. How are you doing? You know, but I've got pretty good retention.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm like, okay, so that's really good. I'm going to write that down. What about how you remember that you've done it? Do you have it in your calendar and you check it off? Like, how do you keep up with that?
I have it in my calendar, but I have a client intake form that I fill out when I'm signing them up. And it has, at the bottom, did you do this? Check it off. Did you do this? Check it off. That way I don't have to use my brain. I can just use the list.
Leslie for president. I love it. You're the best. Okay, somebody share with me something that they're doing that's working, or what would be really helpful too is, I hate that feeling where you're like, I know I need to follow up with so-and-so, but I don't know what to say because I've already been like, hey, I carried a watermelon. If you've ever seen Dirty Dancing, you know what I'm talking about. It's just like, you've gotten to this point of awkwardness. It's like, you still drinking your water? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, what are you saying to get that to open up? Stacey, go ahead.
So I was just going to share that I struggled with this for a really long time, but gosh, probably 6 months ago or longer now, as a large team. So with a bunch of Sideline Sisters, we recreated, and I think it might've been Christy Jex, who did a 10-week follow-up where it's a little blurb and then a video. And so we recreated, each one of us recreated a video. So they get to see a lot of leaders from our large team. At some point, I'm going to recreate all of those with my team, and then it just becomes more intimate. But right now, I love it. I'm getting great responses. It goes along with kind of where they are in their journey. And it really has allowed for a lot of conversation that my follow-up before necessarily did not. So I like the text and little videos. I think it personalizes it. And
so the videos are, would you say they're 3-minute videos, 1-minute videos?
They are, most are, I would say 3 or 4 minutes. And then it's set into a project broadcast campaign. So honestly, either you or my virtual assistant just plugs new people in, and they're just set up. It's one time putting them in and then 10 weeks. And I tell them when I'm signing them up, you know, please know you're going to be getting 10 weeks worth of follow-up. It will come once a week. So just expect that and know that. And so that's been super helpful.
It's really good. And I will say, and I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. So if she ever sees this and she's like, that is not how you say my name, I'm sorry. But Joanna, that's how I've decided her name is pronounced. She, at the very beginning, after they've ordered their welcome pack, she goes and sees what they ordered. And then she says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and send you out a sample. And she offers them products that are not in their welcome pack. She said, I'm going to go ahead and send you a little sample as a thank you for ordering. And she gives them this list, pick one of these. Well, she said, inevitably, when they do that, they end up ordering the product that she sent them the sample of, which I think is so important, because I used to think if you order this huge welcome pack, that half those products are going to sit on the counter and it's going to, it decreases their desire to want to continue to order because they're looking at all these leftovers. But instead, what I found is, what are the odds that they're going to start with 8 products and they're going to find at least 3 that they really like? It's probably pretty good. And so this is actually giving them that 100 PV or more order for the future. So you've kind of given them like a variety pack to choose their big heavy hitters. And then I always think it's important to get them on a product that it's a no-brainer. Like Hydrate, the lemon lime Hydrate is the best gateway drug that ever existed, because no one's going to be like, ooh, I didn't feel good on that, or ooh, that tasted weird. No one is going to say that. It's so good. And the Plexus Worldwide Instagram, did you guys see when they made that like poolside lemon lime Hydrate drink? Well, anyhow, it's really special. So customer care. Anybody?
I don't want to be annoying, but
you're not annoying.
So I'm only at gold. But Christina says I have really good retention, and I think it's because I send a letter with a journal as soon as they order. So they immediately get a gift where they can track how they're feeling when they start and how they're feeling 30 days later. Whether they use them or not, I don't know, but they usually do thank me for the journal. And then I created a Facebook group that just like yours, and I steal your ideas and I put all my new people in. It's called My Plexus Peeps. And so we're all in there. And that's where I do giveaways and funny little things. And I put the new products in there, new flavors. I just started getting some really good engagement, so I'm excited because I gave away some stuff. But that's how because I don't even have as many people as probably a lot of you, and I don't know how. That's not necessarily just new signups, that's everybody. So that's what I do.
Okay, which is amazing. And you did exactly what Fallon said. Like, don't wait, just do it. Like, you make the group or the event. Two things I want to say to you. Number one, make sure that you find a way to plug your people in to someone that's had success in the business, whether it's Christina or whatever it is that's closest to you. Because if you're not introducing that vision to them, you'll struggle to get people to start working along with you. But just an idea for dropping some business opportunity.
I think she does friend them. She's in my group as well.
Okay, awesome.
And she does friend them. Yeah.
But even more, like, I want you to be able to get people to want to do the business because they've caught the vision without you having to, like, I find more is caught than taught. And that saying it's a good one because it's true. I remember when I got on the Diamond page that I was put on, and I started seeing people post that they got their Lexus, and I saw somebody else post they paid more in taxes that year than they'd ever even made in a year. And I was like, okay, hold up. What did you just say? And it made me start considering something. Whereas Suzanne had not said, hey, would you like to build a diamond business? I just happened to see it. So that was what was going through my mind. But your page, you could put diamond documentaries and all of that. But that's a side note. One other thing, and this said with love, if you message somebody that started the products and they said, I've only lost 3 pounds, what would you say to them? What would you say?
Since I struggle with that, I would say, how long are you on the products? I hear that a lot because people think it's a magic pill, and it's not. I tell them to be patient. I think I've posted in my group quite a few times about it's happening from the inside out, and everybody's progress is different. Everybody's timing is different, and that they just have to be patient and give it 90 days at least before they see a difference.
Mm-hmm. But would you think if they said, which is all great, by the way, if they said, oh, you know, I just got on the scale and I've only lost 3 pounds, like, and maybe they've been doing it for 30 days, would your first reaction be like, I think 3 pounds is kind of good?
Yeah, I would probably say kudos, because weight loss isn't always the first thing, because if your stomach's, I always go back to the gut and explain that the gut has to be healthy in order for them to lose weight. And then maybe just give them some tips and tricks like Leslie. I try to do a lot of educational things on my personal Facebook page because I'm huge into fitness and nutrition. And so
great. I guess what I want you to do is I want you to hate the word only. I want that word to make you break out in hives, because you
I said it, I know. As soon as I said it,
only a gold. And I imagined every single silver ambassador and senior silver saying, I would give my left arm to be a gold ambassador. That is huge. It took me 6 months to get to gold. Gold was like the Mecca. Okay. So I just want you to be really, really, really proud of hitting gold. And then the more proud you are of it, I think that's going to actually light a fire in you. So only is against the rule.
It is. It's a curse word. All right, yeah, thank you.
It's a bad word. Does anybody else want to share customer care? I know I didn't give us much time for working, but anybody else want to share something that they see is working amazing? Okay. Sound like maybe. I did give you that link to Joanna's video, so you guys feel free to watch that. It won't be coming until like the third week of this month because it's a duplication topic, but of course you can use that. So why don't we just use these last 15 minutes to do any type of customer care that we need to do. And I think, Leslie, someone's asking about where those recipes are in the virtual office. I don't know if you want to share about that or put the link even, or what tab is it?
I'll put the link in the Power Hour chat.
Okay, thanks.
Jennifer, does anyone have anything they're willing to share that they send out with their samples? I don't want to send like the whole page of like the tribe, you know, like if I send a sample of active and stuff like that, I'm starting to send birthday samples. So like something that you could put in a card, you know, that just kind of gives like a quick little fun, this is what you're getting and, you know, in your sample.
Christina, are you on here? Because I know you send those birthday samples out.
Yes, I'm on.
Hey, what do you say? Do you send like a little card or what?
No, I send it through the app. Because if I don't, I ride around with it in my car thinking I'm going to just drop it off even up the road, and it never ends up getting in their mailbox. So I just send the money and get 3 at a time through the app. And I just love the videos and how professional it comes. It's so cute. They get 2 sticks and it's just so cute. So that's how I do it.
So that's one option, is just to use the app. And I know it doesn't have hydrate, right?
No.
And it doesn't have black cherry lime slim. It just has, but if you're just wanting to send one of those samples, that's a great way to do it. Plus they're getting 2 sticks. Another thing is, I know, well, who isn't like this? You get something in the mail and it seems personal. Like I actually got this Christmas card from the Chewy website. Do you know what Chewy is? Like you order your dog food from it. I got a Christmas card and it legit, because I know it was, because I went to take my thumb and like smear the writing to make sure it was like not just, you know how they trick you when it looks like it's written, but it's printed. You know, like for real, a human being sat down and wrote me this card. And I was like, that was so nice. And it made me like love that company so much. So just sitting down and saying, I'm sending you this hydrate. I drink it at this time of day. Here's what I've noticed. P.S. Did you know 75% of people walk around dehydrated? I don't know, something like that. Have fun. Happy drinking. Add this to vodka. I'm just kidding. I don't drink. I always make alcohol drinks and I don't even drink, but it's kind of funny. Anybody else have a tip?
I have a tip. It's I got an account at Pirate Ship. Using shipping from like printing off my own label is changed my life. Instead of going to the post office and waiting in line, now I actually send a lot more stuff. So like, I don't know, probably everybody else in the world knows about this, but I didn't know.
Okay, I think my VA did this for a while. So it's lets you print the labels at home. Remind me tell us more.
Okay, so I don't know. I think there are other ones that do it. I just use Pirate Ship. And
Pirate Ship is awesome. I agree.
Okay. It's so much cheaper too. I save a lot of money. I was spending over $4 to mail 1 stick of active at the post office. And this is like $3 maybe difference. But I put a card in it. I've always written a card because I just think it's fun to get handwritten notes in the mail. So I put a card in it, and then I just can't help myself. I usually put more than just active in it. Here's some hydrate. So then I just write a card, put it in. I just bought mailers like really cheap on Amazon. So you have to weigh it, but I weighed 1 and figured out how much that was, and I basically do the same thing every time. So anyway, that's it.
And do you have to have a special kind of printer to print the sticker?
You can buy labels. I just print it on paper and tape it on.
Oh, duh. Okay.
I can add to that. I've just print them on regular paper, and then I use packaging tape to tape over it, so like nothing would accidentally smudge it. So it's almost like laminating it. But if you put the packing tape on it, that works really good. And you can use any envelope, but not like she said, the mailers and everything. I also had a question for Leslie. You mentioned earlier in the chat that you send videos to new people, I think. And I was curious, is that a personal video you've pre-recorded and you just send it to everybody? or is it a corporate video, or what video?
I send in my welcome email, I send 2 videos. One is kind of like what to expect. And because I forget to tell them certain things, it's all in just one video. And it takes like 8 to 10 minutes. I'm not sure how long it is. And then the next one is on what is slim, because I noticed for my people, that's what was getting dropped off. So I wanted them to understand how important slim was, what it really does.
The value of it.
Right. And it also helps with why it's the pricing as it is.
Right.
They understand.
So, but are these videos you've created yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. So you said you send it in an email though. How are you sending? Are you saving it to YouTube and sending that link?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be willing to share with? That sounds great. I've thought about doing that where, and this is just an idea, because I've seen Mike Lustell forward a short video testimonial in Messenger. So once you've sent it maybe to yourself in Messenger, you could forward it to your people in Messenger. Just
I just attach it to
the email's better.
Yeah, I just attach it to the email. Now you get people that don't read the email, but I always, when I talk to them, I say, did you watch the videos? Did you get your email? Because it has how to sign on to your account and all that stuff in there.
Right. A lot of them don't look at Messenger too, so you have to know your people, of course. But
cool. Are you in that chat, Anita? Because I can put you in there. I'll put a. Well, if you want both of them, I'll put both of them in there. If you just want one, I'll just want one.
You're talking about the Power Hour chat?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. If you put it in there, that would be awesome. Okay. Because I do think a personal one from us, I like that more than sending a corporate, I like the corporate videos for certain things, or like the microbiome video that's really short to help people understand initially what is this all about. But then something from your personal is really great. So,
and I wanted it something that people that are coming they can just grab it and send it.
Right. Yeah. That's good. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to start wrapping up. Both of you, thanks for asking all those questions. And then I've also seen people put, or even say, once you watch this video, if you can tell me the code word, I'll send you a free whatever. If you're worried about people watching it, or even just say there's kind of a surprise in that video. So when you hear it, let me know. And that kind of piques their interest to actually stick with it. And y'all, I watch all my videos on 2x speed. Now, I don't know if that's a good suggestion or not, but they talk real fast, but it saves me time. So that's a little tip too. We will be back here on Wednesday. We'll watch Brittany Howard's video. And then again, I would go ahead and save those dates, July 5th through 9th. And then I would have your team save those dates. I am so excited about this. Like, I'm just excited. Okay. Like I feel like this weird, that feeling like when the ground starts rumbling right before an earthquake. I think we're about to have like a big old earthquake, but in a good way without people getting hurt, but like a good thing, like an exciting thing. Anyways, don't ask me what it is because I break really easily. I will post this recording on YouTube, and then I will see you guys on Wednesday. Stacy, don't ask me that. All right. Bye, guys.